So I'm going to read the salutation on your email. Where the old and new West converge, experience the gracious service and chic ambiance of Four Seasons Resort Scottsdale at Troon North, set amid the rugged beauty of majestic North Scottsdale. Kim Cole is the Director of Public Relations here at the Four Seasons Resort Scottsdale at Troon North. Kim, welcome.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
So I guess the first question is, yes, it's hot, but Scottsdale, the city of Scottsdale, this whole area, Old Scottsdale, is that what it's called, has a lot to offer even at this time of year.
You know, absolutely, and I do think that is, you hit one of the great points that I wanted to mention, is that despite the heat, there really are so many ways to, experience the destination and still have an amazing time. And one of the things I want to mention just right out of the gate is the incredible room rate. So this time of year, for example, rates start at just $139 a night, which is an incredible value. In our high season, they begin roughly $459. So you can see right there what a difference in price, but you're still going to enjoy the same Four Seasons experience. We don't, it's not the 3 seasons in the summer. We still keep that amazing experience at an incredible value.
You jumped right to the next bullet point here, which is the Four Seasons experience. The guest, the traveler here in Scottsdale, when it comes to luxury, has a lot of options. Why the Four Seasons?
Well, I think a couple of key things set us apart. One thing is that we are located right in the heart of the desert. So when you come to the property, you take in this gorgeous Adobe-style architecture, indigenous art on the walls, cuisine that is sourced from the local farmers and growers, and you don't have to drive to get to the desert, which is our key point of difference. You're in the desert. So, for example, you can start the day with a hot air balloon, ride out into the desert. You can go on a Jeep tour, excursion. You can have one of our outfitters take you on a guided hike. And again, you're situated right at the heart of that experience, so you don't have to travel to do that. Another key point is obviously the service. I think those that are familiar with the brand recognize that the Four Seasons has a special point of difference in our service. Everything from at the pool, we offer you chilled towels and fruit kebabs and smoothies. We'll say, your name as you're walking around the property. So we really make a point of recognizing and appreciating our guests. And I think that's why guests continue to come and see us year after year.
You notice that you have return customers?
Absolutely, and especially from back east, we certainly have our guests that come when the weather is less favorable back there, but of course in the summer as well, those that really just want to take advantage of the value. One of the places where we really do see the repeat guest, and it's interesting, is our Kids for All Seasons program. We have a complimentary kids club that's open every single day, and our family guests, that's really one of the most fun things, is that you get to see the kids grow up, because these families come to us year after year. The kids know our staff by name, and it really is one of those special things that we start to feel part of the family.
My wife was blown away by this kids program. Tell us a little bit more about that. This is more than just a kiddie pool.
It's an incredible, again, back to the value conversation, it's completely complimentary. It's open every single day, and it really is a program you can feel good about, taking your kids to. Well, you get to enjoy some time, with your spouse to golf at, True North, or, head to the spa and experience a desert-inspired treatment. But the Kids Club, everything from, the kids will enjoy everything from, Native American crafts to hikes to Pinnacle Peak, playtime at the pool. And the facility itself is really incredible. There's a Lego wall where they can, design their own little buildings. There's a foosball table, a game room. There's a movie theater. So again, another nice thing that we offer is, special nights. We'll keep the facility open late, and for a small charge, parents can go enjoy, dinner in our signature Talavera restaurant, while the kids get to enjoy a movie night in the theater room and, pizza, and they're having a great time, so you don't have to worry.
Is that the drive-in movie experience?
Actually, that is the dive-in movie. We do dive-in movies throughout the summer every Friday night, or Saturday night, excuse me. And it's incredible because, again, it's completely complimentary, and you get to head down to the pool. We do a buffet to accompany it, and you can enjoy, everything from, up, other movies. Frozen, I know, is the latest big hit, but we'll do special movies where you can lounge in the pool, with your pool noodles as a family and enjoy that movie night. And we also do that during our peak season as well on a seasonal basis.
We're speaking with Kim Cole, Director of Public Relations here at the Four Seasons Resort Scottsdale at Troon North. And something that you mentioned earlier is that the flora, the fauna, the experience of the desert is captured here. I mean, just walking around the property, someone did something right here.
It really is true, and I think one of the most interesting stories is that the saguaro is the indicator plant of the Sonoran Desert. It only grows here naturally, so you're in the Sonoran Desert when you spy a saguaro. It's that beautiful, majestic cactus with the long arms, and it's interesting because when actually we built the property, we actually had to transport all the saguaros and bring them back. So a lot of the, because it's actually illegal to kill a saguaro here in the desert. So it's interesting because a lot of the flora and that you see is actually native to the area. And we brought it back and gave it a little Four Seasons touch, but it really is what you'll find out in the desert. And we do mark a lot of the cactus so you can have a bit of an education as you're staying with us. And we do guided hikes to Pinnacle Peak where our instructors will actually point out, the specific things that you're seeing along the way. And again, it is such a different experience for those that are used to pine trees or, green grass. It's beautiful and majestic in a completely different way.
It is striking, as you walk around the property, and I think that folks will appreciate that when they visit. You mentioned something about golf, and one of the responses that I got when I told folks I was coming out here was that this course is something to experience.
Truly it is. We partner with Troon North Golf Club, which actually featured the two top-rated courses in the state, the Monument and Pinnacle, and we make it extremely easy for our guests. We have a complimentary golf shuttle that will take you over to the courses, which are located less than 5 minutes away. We have preferred tee times and priority playing privileges, which can actually be a big point of difference in the high season when it's tough to get on to the courses. And again, if you are used to a traditional link-style course, you're in for a surprise because this is definitely a different type of golf experience because you actually could be teeing off over the saguaros and you might not see your ball go flying, and it is a little bit of a challenge for those that are used to a more traditional style course, but an incredibly new and exciting way to play.
You mentioned that this is a partnership with Troon, and I just wonder, any pointers to folks who may want to come out here, experience it? How far in advance should they set that up?
Well, we do offer a variety of golf packages, which, allow you that ease of, booking the golf alongside of your room. I definitely recommend that if golf is, one of the main reasons that you're heading out. But truly, our concierge team is extremely savvy and can really help you get the tee times you need, not only at Troon North, but also, some of the other area top courses that are nearby.
Terrific. Now, Cowboy for a Day. What is this all about?
So another interesting partnership we actually just launched is a partnership with Arizona Cowboy College. And this is
the Arizona Cowboy College.
Yes, and it's actually a working ranch run by two really terrific people. One of them is actually Rocco Wakeman, a former New Yorker turned cowboy. He was a stockbroker and decided to come out here and live his dream of being a cowboy. So he's a very interesting individual, and he actually leads this one-day program. They do 7-day programs if you wanted to head out and do the true experience. But for our guests, a lot of times we recognize they don't have that type of time. So we wanted something where they could get a taste of this experience. So for one day, you can head out while you're staying at the property, spend a full day at the ranch, learning the ins and outs of being a cowboy, roping, ranching, branding. You might be bringing the cattle home. It's really what you would expect from a true cowboy experience. But then you get to come back and spend the night in a Four Seasons bed.
It's funny because my dad watches a lot of Westerns. And when I look around, boy, this really looks like the set of a Western.
It is very much that city slickers type of a type of setting. But we like to say it's the desert refined, because you really get you don't have to dress up when you come here. You can truly wear your blue jeans. Scottsdale itself is a very casual destination in many ways, but yet you still have that refined element of the Four Seasons. So it truly is the best of both worlds. You can relax and yet still have the service and the elevated experience that you'd expect from a luxury property.
I thought I knew what good Mexican food was. Really, it's the Tex-Mex, the cuisine. Tell us about the cuisine of the Southwest.
Sure. One of the interesting things, our chef actually is from Oaxaca, Mexico originally. So Chef Mel Macinas, he's been with us for more than 8 years at this point, which is quite a long time for a chef. Sometimes they move around, but he's truly found his home with us. And he has reinvented the menus in all of our restaurants. He's extremely passionate about sourcing locally, finding, the right partners with the farms. And another thing he has done is bring that taste of Oaxaca to some degree to certain elements in our menu. He has a homemade mole sauce, which he's labored over, and the sauce takes more than 48 hours to prepare. But for our guests, you can order it on the menu at Saguaro Blossom, our poolside grill, and enjoy a taste of the cuisine he grew up with.
I'll tell you, at first bite, you will notice a difference.
Yes, I think the local flavors really come through and shine, and that is one of the things that I know is more of a global trend these days, is really, eating with the seasons and, eating close to home and tasting those flavors that are indigenous to a destination.
And what is indigenous to the desert?
It's surprising how much actually grows here. It's interesting. We actually have so much as far as the way of produce. There's a local olive mill here, Queen Creek Olive Mill, which supplies all of the olive oil that we use at the property. And so it's interesting because you think a desert, not much grows there, but there's so many microclimates surrounding us that although we're in the desert, you drive 2 hours north, you'll be in a completely different topography. And actually there's wine that's produced here, and it's making a name for itself. There's a restaurant in Old Town Scottsdale that features only Arizona wine. So imagine that.
I think that's terrific. I really do. And 2 hours north, and you could see a 20 or 30 degree difference.
You can, and it's extremely interesting just how much the destination is a springboard to experience the rest of the state, because you, again, drive 2 hours north, you're in Sedona. That's an ideal day trip for our guests to take. And we do arrange tours of the wineries, which are, again, growing in acclaim. And again, if you drive a few hours north of that, you'll be in the pine forest of Flagstaff, and you can head south to Tucson. So there's so much accessible within the surrounding area, and there's so many different ways to experience the state using this as your home base, the Phoenix Scottsdale area.
Now, Kim Cole, in your email here, I see that there are some enhancements going on to the property. And I think it's important, and I'd like you to tell us a little bit about that project, but I think it's important to also let people know that these enhancements will not encroach or impede the guest experience.
No, we're always very careful about that. And I've been at the property 10 years. And since I've been at the property, we've undergone many different enhancement efforts, everything from, completely renovating the pool, several years ago, to a new restaurant, Proof, we opened 2 years ago. Each time we've improved the property, our first and foremost priority is making sure the guest experience is preserved. So currently we're actually enhancing all of our 22 suites on property, which, if you ask me, they already were pretty nice. But it's one of those things that as the property matures, we want to make sure that the product is fresh and continues to provide that Four Seasons experience our guests are used to. So this summer, all of the suites will receive top to bottom enhancement. The suites already feature outdoor private plunge pools, garden showers, telescopes for private stargazing. So they really are
fireplaces.
Yes, outdoor fireplaces, which we do have someone that will come light the fire. You can do s'mores on your patio. So there's so much about the property that invites the outdoors in, because again, for most of the year, that is another point of difference, is that you can enjoy the outdoors. You can shower in January outdoors, which you can't say that for for back east, right?
You can. It's not advised, I suppose. Kim, talk to us a little bit more about the setup here. There's not a hotel. These are casitas. How would you describe the layout?
It's extremely low density, and it's designed as such so that you can take in the views. I would almost liken it to an Adobe-style Pueblo village. So it's these little casita buildings, no more than 3 stories in height, and they're dotted around the property and, interspersed with the cactus. And, you really follow this meandering path through these casita buildings, and you get the feeling of, a very wide open, inviting, appealing setting, and that's by design. We're not the type of setting where it is pushing an elevator button and heading up to the top floor. It's not a city experience. I mean, you're really going to feel like you're in the heart of a desert.
But again, if you do want that city experience, Phoenix is not that far, and a sports lover. I mean, I'm going to head over to an Arizona Cardinals game later today. The Super Bowl is coming to town. This is a sports lover's dream here.
I think that is one of the great things about this destination, is extremely accessible. We have one of the largest major airports in the nation, Phoenix Sky Harbor, and we have every single major sporting team, which you hit the nail on the head. We have the Arizona Diamondbacks, which are, playing right now. You can head down and take in a Diamondbacks game. We do have the cover over the stadium to keep the temperatures, very comfortable. The Super Bowl will be heading here, as you mentioned, which we're extremely excited about. We have, of course, the Arizona Cardinals. We have the Coyotes for hockey. So really, every major type of, sporting team does call Phoenix Scottsdale home, which we're extremely fortunate for.
And these franchises don't just plop themselves down in an area. A lot goes into figuring out if this is going to work. So the fact that those teams are here and thriving is a good sign, I think.
It absolutely is. I mean, this destination really is hitting its stride. It's a very young destination in some ways, and I think that also means there's a lot of opportunity. As far as food and beverage in the destination, we are in some ways like the Wild West. I mean, there's a lot of young chefs that have come here to make their mark, and we have a lot of James Beard award-winning chefs that are concentrated in the valley proper. And you really are going to get such a mix of cultures from a food and beverage standpoint, from a people standpoint. There's so many reasons that people migrate to this destination to call it home. The sun, certainly
330 days a year.
Yeah, certainly sun is a key factor, but there is something about the Wild West that I think is still alive and well. We're a very sophisticated destination, but you can still don your cowboy boots and your blue jeans and make yourself at home.
Kim, we've been talking for almost a half an hour, which may surprise you, but anything you'd like to tell folks who may not be familiar with the Four Seasons brand? I mean, I'll admit my wife and I usually would find a Ritz in a city, in a destination. It just happened that we picked this property because it seemed like it fit what we were looking for. But for folks like us who may not have tried a Four Seasons,
I think one of the hallmarks of the brand truly is our service. And that's something I can tell you, working with the brand for more than 10 years, that it really is set apart. It's one of those things, for example, the layout of our casita buildings. I mentioned that they are interspersed, throughout the property. It's not a traditional up and down hotel. Well, there's toasters in each of the guest rooms. So if you order room service, we do not bring you toasted bread. We will toast the bread in your room so that it is fresh and made to order. Those little touches, if you leave your shoes outside the door with a little note on them, we will shine them for you complimentary and bring them back waiting for you in the morning. There's so many little touches like that throughout your stay that you may not even notice all of them, but they come together to make a truly incredible point of service difference. And, one of the simplest things is that we'll call you by name. You come to the property and we will remember. It's one of those things that makes you feel at the end of your stay that you've achieved that value, because anyone can put together a luxury hotel, but can they make you feel like your money has been well spent and that you've been well cared for? That truly is a point of difference.
Anything you'd like to add?
Just that, we would love to welcome all of your listeners. I mean, I think that there is a Four Seasons price point for everyone. And this time of year, again, just don't let the weather map scare you away. I know sometimes it looks like our area is incredibly hot, which it can be, but the dry heat really does make a difference.
She said that with a straight face, folks. But let me just say this, and I mentioned this to you before and I'll talk to the listeners about this as well. You can pick a destination that is in season. My wife and I spent a weekend in July in the vineyard, in Martha's Vineyard, and it was 68 degrees and rainy. You're probably going to have at least a couple of days out here where you're going to get the sunshine and you're going to get the experience at the pool. That's almost guaranteed.
Yeah, I mean, I think the sun is definitely our constant, and especially this time of year. It is hot. I mean, there's no mincing words about it. And you're right, the dry heat is probably our oldest yes, punchline. But I do believe that if you can experience a Four Seasons for $139 a night, if you're going to lay poolside, I mean, it's an incredible time of year to come. Of course, every time of year has something for, something to offer, but to take advantage of the value season, I mean, it really can't be beat.
Kim Cole is the Director of Public Relations here at the Four Seasons Resort Scottsdale at Troon North. Contact information, website information, Facebook.
Sure. Probably the best thing is to visit our website, fourseasons.com/Scottsdale, or you can call our reservations line, 480-513-5039. We're on Facebook, Twitter, at FS Scottsdale. You can find us on Twitter, find us on Facebook, like us. We do promotions on occasion, and also just to get a feel for the destination and for the town. It'd be a great thing to visit us.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Glad to be here. Thank you.